Welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin and it is time for Yarn Management Monday. What is Yarn Management Monday? Well, it is basically half of what I'm trying to do this year on my channel. The goal of the channel, I don't know, the theme of the year. I am trying to tackle, tame, wrangle my yarn collection and all of my works in progress. So on Monday we look at yarn management. We look at what I have here on the shelves in my collection, and we make choices as to whether or not I'm reasonably going to use it or if I should rehome it, and talk about maybe what projects are possible with it. And then on Tuesday, so tomorrow, we're going to look at my progress at one of the whips that is pretty ancient. It's my oldest one so far. But today we are talking yarn. And what do we have? Do you recall last week I had some of that Turkish direct yarn from Hirschner that I was like, oh yes, they've released it under a Hirschner's house label and now they're charging more money for it. We have a third, and I think this is the last one that I tried to compare. But this is, I have absolutely no idea how to say it in Turkish. This was the Turkish label. Oh, come on. Okay. I'm going to get a new battery, then we're going to talk. Okay, we're back in action. We were looking at some Turkish yarn. Don't know how to pronounce it. Here's what it is. It's some lovely green, twisty, marled colorway. It's color 90004, if you can find that. So I have 5 of those because it came in a 5-pack. 4 and 5. And now, if you were wondering, it is the Northland Spiral colorway Autumn Multi, which I believe is a perfect description of this yarn. This is a bulky 5. It's a decent, if not thin, looking 5. 100% acrylic, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 142 yards, 130 meters. Machine wash, dry flat, made in Turkey. 6.5 millimeter knitting needles and a 5 millimeter crochet hook, which is rare. Normally, those numbers would be flipped. Usually you want a bigger crochet hook than knitting needle. And if you're curious, here they are next to each other. Tell me that ain't the same yarn. Right? Right. So, I have 5 more of this under this Hirschner's label. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this I am keeping because I quite like the colorway. It fits with my autumnal love. What to make with that? I'm tempted to try to make a thick, like, cardigan coat for the autumn, or to put it all together and make a throw rug. I've got 10 of them. Was it 130 yards? 142 yards. It was 130 meters. So that's 1,400 yards. That's a decent throw blanket. I tend to like to have 2,000 yards for a blanket, but I also think this is, being a 5, it'll go further. So yeah, I think that would make a good size blanket. So what do you think? Out of the Autumn Multi, heavier kind of fall cardigan coat or a blanket? And now remember, I said, well, I only have 8 of this yarn last week. I found the other 2. They were indeed in the cube next door. So, I do have 10 of these. This is the Soho Twirly Whirl. We'll go over it again just in case anyone missed last week. But I had 8 of these in the prior cube, so 2 more makes 10. 100% acrylic, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 319 yards, 292 meters. Machine wash, dry flat, made in Turkey. 3.5 to 4 millimeter knitting needles and a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. And this is a 3-weight yarn. Now, a number of you suggested a star blanket with this, and I agree completely. I think that would be so adorable. So that will be my plan. Diamond sent me an email with a Annie's Crochet book, a book of Afghans from Annie's Crochet. And I was able to find that on Thrift Books. So it had a star blanket in there that she very much recommended. So that is what I am going to attempt. Now you might remember I had some Bravo worsted from, oh, is that Knit Picks? I think that's Knit Picks. I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank. My feet are sweating. I'm going to take off my slippers. It was a very lovely day today. It got up to almost 60. It was beautiful. The warm weather did come. And with it comes the change of seasons headiness. So, anyway, I've had my eye on a specific bod star blanket for that Brava. So I will do the other one with this. So I do have 2 star blankets in the mix. Now we're talking about bod blankets. I also have a number of this Mandala watercolor and this lovely pink, I think it's berry? Tea berry. Mandala watercolors. These are 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 164 yards, 150 meters. It's machine wash gentle, lay flat to dry. Delicate cycle, 75% acrylic, 15% wool, 10% nylon. Now this is a roving single ply. This is very much like the Rave from Big Twist, if you're familiar with that. This was a precursor to it, but Rave is 100% acrylic. It does not have the wool or the nylon. But that's lovely tea berry. Bod has a blanket with this. I have had this yarn for a very long time, and that blanket on my watch later list. So this will be a bod blanket. It's kind of a chevron-y one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and I got those specifically after watching that pattern. So there we go. That has a use. It's staying. I do have some yarn in here that is leaving. And I know you're probably like, what? Erin, you don't do that. I've been keeping this yarn. I have some of this Willow Yarn Honeybee. It's a tape yarn, and it's very, very thick, and it's like silky smooth. It's very interesting, and I wanted to work with this, but I think, for me, I don't think I'm going to work with this anytime soon. So I had kept it thinking it would be nice, but I don't think I'm going to do it. So this is Willow Yarns Honeybee. I believe this is long discontinued. 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 54 yards, 50 meters. This color is Nutshell. It is 69% acrylic, 17% nylon, 14% wool. They're saying it's a bulky 5. I think it's more 6. Maybe fat 5. They want 8mm knitting needles and a 6.5mm crochet hook. There's the yarn. It's Nutshell. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, sorry about that. So I've got 2 of that in Nutshell, and then I have 2 of it in this more mustardy golden color, which is called Vintage Gold. And I think those would go well in a project together, have a very vintage 70s feel. I think this would be great for a rug. I think it would work very well for a bag. It's got that nylon in it, which will give it some strength, 17% nylon. So that will give you strength, and it's not as I pull on it, it's not a stretchy ribbon. Not like the layer cupcake I just had. That was questionable. This is very sturdy. It's soft but sturdy. It's interesting. I think that would also work well if you used a slightly too small crochet hook and made a very tightly crocheted bucket hat. I think that would work well. Now, the last yarn I have in this box, or from this cube, I put it into a box. It's in a old Amazon box. I have 2 of this Yarn Art Ambiance, which I got from Hobium in my first and only Hobium order so far. So, Yarn Art Ambiance. It's blacks and greens and gray. And then, let's see here. Made in Turkey. 4mm knitting needles and crochet hook. Hand wash, dry flat, do not bleach. It's a lightweight 3. This is again a single ply roving, and I see spots where it's definitely a 3, and I see 2s as well. I see what I would call Sport 2. I haven't used this, but I'm not really seeing anything I would call a 4. No, so it looks like a pretty good 2 to 3 roving. So a tight range. I mean, sometimes you get roving that can go from thread to 5, and you're like, whoa, what am I doing with this? But question, so this is color 156. Okay, 20% wool, 80% acrylic, 100 grams, 3.52 ounces, 250 meters, 273.4 yards. I don't know what I'm doing with this, but I think I want to keep it. So this is totally kind of the green Minecraft-y colors that I think my son would enjoy. My son Chomps. I only have one son. But okay, so this is what, 374-ish yards. 750-ish altogether. If I'm thinking apparel for Chomps, that's pushing it. I could definitely do like a vest if he wanted a vest. I don't think this is quite enough for any sort of blanket unless I combine it with something else. I would be curious to see how this compares to the Lion Brand Facets, not Lion Brand, Loops and Threads Facets yarn. Because there has been a development with the solid colors there. Solid colors are now available in the United States, so maybe I could get like the dark gray and extend it. Oh, I don't know. If you have any thoughts about this yarn, please let me know. I'm going to hold on to it for now, but this is a tenuous one. That one might get thrown back. I'm not quite sure on that one. So like I said, I got a star blanket here. I've got a bod blanket here. The only other question is with this green. Would you do blanket or some sort of thicker cardigan for the autumn? What are your thoughts? It's a horse apiece to me. 5 weight is the thickest yarn I kind of enjoy using. I don't have any blanket in mind. I don't have any cardigan in mind. So if you have specific suggestions for a pattern for either of those, please let me know. Like I said, that other ribbon yarn has gone into the giveaway. So I will not be keeping that. So some stuff has gone. And I have been known to change my mind as I'm putting things back into the shelf. And if I do change my mind about that yarn art, I will let you know. But I really do. I quite like those colors. The green. I don't know why. I've been feeling green lately. And yeah, I quite like it. So I'm tempted to keep it, but if I'm thinking of my son, a shawl isn't something he's going to be interested in. But that is yarn that would kind of look shawl-like to me. So maybe it's not a yarn for him. Maybe it's one, if I keep it, I need to repurpose it for another use and not him. That's hard. You know, when you have one person in mind and then you switch gears, there's always a cognitive dissonance there. There's something in your head saying, no, stop. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. You guys always help me out, and I appreciate it greatly. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for continuing to support this and help me through it. I do have some holes now, because as you saw yesterday, if you watched, that wasn't yesterday, that was Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. I did pull out that gemstone yarn to make Chomps a sweater. So I've got a hole up there, but he is not going to use all of that yarn. I think I'm like half done with the body of the sweater. It's a raglan, so I'll go back and make the sleeves. But there's a good chance he uses only 2 skeins of that yarn, which will leave 4 left, which means that would have to go back on the shelf. So I'm reluctant to backfill that hole with any of this because gemstone is one of my favorite yarns. I'm not going to get rid of any excess there. I do tend to, when I have large quantities of yarn, if I finish one project with it, I feel like I've done what I want to do with that yarn, and then I feel better letting it go. Like if I make a sweater with this, and I only, I don't use all 10 of them, maybe I use 5 or 6. The others I would feel very comfortable with parting. Same would be true with that swirly twirly yarn. I believe the bod pattern does call for 6 cakes of that. So I do not think I would have extra there. Hold on guys, what's up? What? Why do you need a 15-minute timer?
For my reading.
For your reading? Okay, I will set a 15-minute timer for you, yes. But isn't my iPad? You can grab my iPad if you want to make the timer yourself. So yeah, he just tricked me. He's supposed to read for 20 minutes. I am proud that he took it upon himself to do his reading though, so I'll let it slide, but okay. I forget what we're talking about. I think I was in the middle of trying to say goodbye and ask for ideas. So have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow with my Tackle It project. Okay. Bye.